Are you there? Good afternoon, students. Are you ready to listen to the lecture?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon. So everyone pay attention. Whatever you are doing, just pay attention to the lecture. Have you all submitted the project?
Yes, ma'am.
So I will check it. Okay. After a week or after 10 days, I will check it. And so I will give the feedback to you all. So what you have done and how you should have done, and if you have done very well, so for that also I will give the feedback to you all. Okay. And just to share the screen.
Ma'am, we have to show up.
What?
Ma'am, I couldn't hear you, ma'am. Sorry, what did you instructed?
No, nothing. I said, have you all submitted? I will check it after 10 days or 2 weeks. Then I will give the feedback to you all, how you all have done. Okay.
महिलांचे प्रस्तुतकर्ता चकोटे स्वाद गुणवत्ता आणि विश्वासाची 30 वर्ष
अंदर देखे क्या जाके जरा नहीं क्या झाड़ू मारी कचरा नको कितना बड़ा लाई काट के
Ali,
Yes, ma'am.
I think you need to mute yourself.
Sorry, ma'am.
Basel Convention we have seen yesterday, day before yesterday, we were discussing about the Basel Convention, which is an international treaty, which is controlling the shipping e-waste from one country to another country. So that is what we were discussing yesterday. I think page number 53 or something. Yes. So we were discussing about the Basel Convention. So today we will see the additional regulation, and controversy will always be there. So that also we discussed. So if anyone is starting anything, controversy will be there. Then we were discussing about North America, that is United States and Canada, and what are the various steps they have taken. And EPEAT is nothing but Electronic Product Environmental Assessment Tool. So EPEAT certification. Okay. So this is Electronic Product Environmental Assessment Tool. So whatever you are buying, and I gave the example, look at your AC. So in your AC, you have the 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. Similarly, whenever you are buying the electronic product, this EPEAT certification needs to be there. So till that we have studied last time. See, in continuation with the previous lecture, we will understand about National Computer Recycling Act. Okay. The United States House of Representatives has twice tried to pass the National Computer Recycling Act. What is the meaning of National Computer Recycling? Okay, you have to recycle it. The crux of the act is that consumers would be charged $10 recycling fee each time a new computer is sold. it also requires the EPA to take a number of steps to help manage e-waste in the United States. So whenever you are buying a product, okay, any computer, whenever you are buying, you are going to pay for the recycle also. Okay. Are you listening, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here, Computer Recycling Act. Okay. So this EPA. So EPA in the sense, E stands for environmental and P stands for protection, A stands for agency. Okay. So this particular agency, they are helping each and every person whoever is buying the electronic product, that certification. So what does it mean? We will study. The United States House of Representatives has twice tried to pass the National Computer Recycling Act. The crux of the act is that consumer, suppose I am buying a product, then I have to pay $10 in advance for recycling. So forcefully, I have to recycle it. It also requires the EPA to take a number of steps to help manage e-waste in the United States. The act, if introduced again and passed, would do the following. Direct the EPA to develop a grant program to encourage municipalities, individuals and organizations to start e-waste recycling program. Okay. So first one, e-waste recycling program. Second, assess a fee of up to $10 on new computers in order to fund the grant program. See, एक program चालू किया है, group of people are decided e-waste recycle करना पड़ेगा, but उनको support चाहिए. क्या support चाहिए? Fund का support चाहिए. कैसे fund collect करेंगे? So whenever you are buying the laptop, you pay $10. So the $10 will go to the e-waste recycling programs. Require a comprehensive e-waste study to be conducted by the EPA, which would make the ongoing recommendations for addressing the problem. EPA means Environmental Protection Agency. Require the administrator of EPA to be in full consultation with manufacturers, retailers, recycling agencies, waste management professionals, and environmental and consumer group. So they need to have consultation with everybody, whoever is manufacturing the product, and all the retailers, whoever is selling the product, and recycling agencies, they need to talk, and waste management professionals, they need to talk, and environmental people and the consumer. So this EPA means this agency should consult with everybody. The bill was first introduced in 2003 and then again in 2005. Each time the bill was never debated, simply died on the vine. It's not clear if the bill in this form or another will be reintroduced to the House, or if similar legislation will be introduced to the Senate. So every time they were talking about this, it was introduced. Later, when they completely restarted it, okay, so that they don't know. So overall, in US, they wanted to bring this electronic waste recycling. Okay, so that is the main agenda. Now there are various states in US. Each and every state, they have their own rules and regulation. Individual state, although the federal government struggles with finding its own voice on the issue of e-waste, individual states are taking the initiative. California, for example, has several measures in place to combat e-waste, but it's not alone. Many others are taking a stab at alleviating e-waste. Okay, so each and every state is also taking a step towards the e-waste. Overall government, see now India may overall it is not possible. So every state, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Karnataka, okay, like every take, they are taking the decision. Let's take a closer look at one specific state, California, to see how it is regulating the management of e-waste. California is approaching the issue from several angles and seems to be making good progress with its effort. According to state waste and recycling data, California generated approximately 140,000 tons of covered electrical devices in 2005. With more than 60 million pounds of this electronic waste taken back for recycling through the program. Okay, so many electronic items are taken back for the recycling. In 2006, the recycling rate for covered electronics was 29%, up almost twice as much as 2005. So California Integrated Waste Management Board paid out approximately $61 million in reimbursements to recyclers in 2006. So only one state they took the initiative and they did the recycling program and they were succeeding also. And recycling rate 2005 में 10 लोग ने किया, 2006 में then 100 लोग ने किया है 10 times. 300 लोग ने किया. ऐसा recycling rate was increased. Okay. Electronic Waste Recycling Act. On January 1, 2005, California enacted legislation to implement an electronic waste recovery and recycling program. Electronic Waste Recycling Act is modeled after the European Economic Union's Product Stewardship Initiative. So now, next step they were taking recycling के लिए. See, you will be ready to do the recycling if you don't need to pay. Okay. So next step, what they did, the Act's intent is to provide cost-free recycling opportunities to consumers. The goal of it is to prevent the illegal dumping of electronic waste and to discourage e-waste stockpiling. See, waste also हम legally करना पड़ेगा, illegally नहीं करने का है. We are not supposed to dump the waste. See, that is why in every society, वो घंटा गाड़ी आ रहा है and they are collecting the kachra from our house and everything is properly segregated. Then they are dumping it in one place, whichever is not necessary. They fire it, whichever is necessary, they are recycling it. Everything is happening. That is one separate department. So why we want to do it? Because hazardous material landfill में, sea में नहीं होना चाहिए. It has to be wasted properly. For that reason, the larger goal of the act, क्यों हम इतना कर रहे? Why are we recycling? Why are we doing e-waste? Why? What is the reason? Because hazardous material हम avoid करना है. We want to avoid the hazardous material dump. For that reason only we are following all these. So that is the larger goal. Okay. So several states have already adopted their own e-waste legislation. Cell phone take back and recycling. Cell phone. If you all see, nowadays, you can get a new phone for the old phone. That concept is there. That is not only business point of view. That is for the recycling point of view also. They are okay telling the scheme. So you all need to understand that. Why they want. The cell phone, old cell phone देके new cell phone use करना पड़ेगा. क्यों? Are you listening, students?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ मैम सुन
Yes,
रहे
ma'am.
मैम.
Ma'am, I want to tell something.
प्लेन को नीचे उतारने के बारे में बताइए ना।
Hello, ma'am.
अभी देखिए क्या
Yeah.
है कि प्लेन
Ma'am, I
लैंड
want to
कराने
tell
से पहले
something. Like you told about the California trash recycling. In ma'am, an Asian country, Singapore, recycles its
जिस प्लेन
99% of e-waste. All type of waste, it recycles it 99%. They collect all the trash and they burn it. And the heat generated from burning is converted into energy, and also the smoke that is produced while burning, it's filtered out through big chimneys, and it's converted into clean air, and the remaining ashes are thrown away in a man-made island, not in the like oceans and all. So it gets 99% reduced.
Yeah. Very good, Ali. Very good explanation, and you have explained it so nicely, and very nice. Correct it is. Okay. See, all these steps slowly they have taken and they have achieved up to here. The air also, the cleaned air they are getting. Okay. See, 100% perfect is not at all possible. So they are towards the perfection. So in that way, we need to understand the excellent explanation, Ali. Correct it is.
Thank you, ma'am.
So cell phone take back and recycling. Some of California's largest cellular telephone retailers to take back used cellular telephones at no cost to the consumer. The phones are then reused, recycled, or properly disposed of. Next, rechargeable battery take back and recycling. Similar to, see, this is one model, I think so, AB2901. AB1125 was modeled after the cellular phone take back bill. This law requires all retailers that sell rechargeable batteries to accept them back at no cost to the consumer. This makes it easy for consumers to drop off end-of-life batteries for recycling or proper disposal. Other states, there is no single perfect way to manage e-waste. So this you all need to understand. ऐसा एक ही रास्ता नहीं है e-waste करने में. Okay, there are so many initiatives. STEP program is there, and then hazardous material prevention, that program is there. E-waste program is there. EPA certification is there. Gold, silver, bronze medal award is given to the product whichever is satisfying some 29 out of 53. So all these are different ways of the managing e-waste. This is also true when comparing the different approaches the individual countries have legislated. So they have given, just go through it. This you all don't need to study for the exam, just for your knowledge sake के लिए you go through it, what is given. Okay. So North America, we have learned about, even we studied about California also. So now we are going to study about Canada. Canada is managing e-waste in a way similar to European Union's Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment Directive, WEEE. The goal is to reduce the amount of electronic waste going into the general household waste stream. Environment Canada has noted that more than 140,000 tons of used electronics go into Canadian landfills each year. Okay. So land may they are just dumping it, everything. So many but not all of the provinces have adopted e-waste laws. Like in the United States, different provinces have different regulations for managing e-waste. So Canada also, different provinces means different, like a different state. So they are planning for the proper e-waste. Okay, Canada also they are planning. Next, Australia. As of this writing, Australia does not have any formalized government mandated rules for the management of e-waste. That doesn't mean that there is not a program in place.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, we can see the yellow color whiteboard. We can't see the PDF. Yes, ma'am.
What about now?
Yeah, ma'am. Now it's visible.
Okay. So Australia does not have any formalized government mandated rules for the management of e-waste. That doesn't mean that there is not a program in place to help manage end of life electronic equipment. There is a program that just might serve as a template for the entire nation. The Bite Back program, Bite Back, is a fusion of government and industry aimed toward managing e-waste, government and the industry. The program, serving Australia's southeastern state of Victoria, involves Partners Sustainability Victoria, Government Environmental Group, in conjunction with the Australian Information Industry Association, and founding partners Apple, Canon, Camera, okay, Apple Computers, Dell, Epson, Fujitsu, Fuji Xerox, HP, IBM, Lenovo, and Lexmark. So the program name is Bite Back program, which is e-waste program in Australia. Government and the industry together, they were conducting the program. With the Bite Back program, consumers can bring up to 10 computers to be recycled at no charge to them. Okay, you can take 10 computers. Once the devices are accepted by Bite Back, printed circuit boards are sent to Canada. Nickel and lithium batteries are sent to France. Cathode ray tubes are sent to the Netherlands. LCD screens are sent to the US for processing. Okay, so Bite Back program is one office or one group of people where the government and the industry together, they conducted this. Consumer means any company, anybody can give some 10 computers without cost. You don't need to pay for recycle. Usme say Bite Back means recycle. Recycle means what is the meaning? Whichever product is good, that you can reuse it. Understood? So some circuit boards are good, that is sent to Canada, and some batteries are sent to France. Cathode ray tube are sent to Netherlands. LCD screens are sent to US. So like they managed, although this seems to be more transporting of e-waste, if the Australian government decides to adopt a similar program throughout the entire country, it will have the economy of scale necessary to process materials in country. The Bite Back program is only a trial. It started in 2005 and will run until the end of 2008. It is expected that what the Victorians learn from the program can be used to prepare the entire country to properly dispose of computer equipment. So ऑस्ट्रेलिया में 10 कंप्यूटर दे दो, उसमें बाकी पूरा देश को एक्सपोर्ट हो जाएगा कौन सा मटेरियल, एलसीडी मतलब यूएस को एक्सपोर्ट हो जाएगा. So like that they decided. So in this initial phase, Bite Back prevented 300 tons of electronic and electrical waste from entering Australian landfills. लैंड में डंप करना है वो अवॉइड करने के लिए इतना प्रोसेस हो रहा है. वी हैव टू बी सो रेस्पॉन्सिबल. ओके, Always remember this subject just for marks sake ke liye you should not study. You have to remember this subject till your lifetime. You have to be extremely careful whenever you are doing e-waste. Always remember this point. Okay. This is, don't study this as a subject. Marks lena hai, aisa study mat karo. Okay. How responsible I can be. What other countries are doing for e-waste. Everything we must know. Next, Europe. The European Union leads the world with its e-waste management, WEEE, and its reduction of hazardous substances directives. These laws manage not only the resultant recycling and handling of e-waste, but also its creation. So we will talk about these two directives. That is electric and electronic equipment waste. So we will study about this. Two directives and how individual European nations are reacting. So WEEE directive, the Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment Directive is the European Union Directive on WEEE and became law in February 2003. The directive sets collection, recycling and recovery goals for used electronic equipments. The directive places the responsibility for the disposal of WEEE on the manufacturers. Manufacturers are required to establish a program for collecting WEEE. The directive states users of electrical and electronic equipment from private households should have the possibility of returning WEEE at least free of charge. Okay, household may see in industry may they can charge, but household may whenever they are using any electronic and electrical equipment, they have to recycle it with the free of cost. So that is what they wanted through this. Next, manufacturers are also required to dispose of, recycle or refurbish equipment in an ecological manner. See, manufacturer, laptop manufacturer, electronic item manufacturer, and they also must recycle and refurbish the equipment. When the WEEE directive became law, it required all of the European member states to adopt it into national law by August 13, 2004. The only country to meet this deadline was Cyprus. 1 year later, all member states except for Malta and United Kingdom, these are the countries, okay, had adopted at least portions of the directive. United Kingdom finally adopted the regulations and it went into force on January 2, 2007. Which one? Electronic and electrical equipment waste directive. So this is one directive. Another one is RoHS, restriction or reduction, we can say, of hazardous substances. So this is one directive. Directive means it is one group. So first it is a e-waste group, it is a hazardous restriction group. Whereas the WEEE directive is designed to help manage e-waste, the European Union also took steps to reduce how much waste is actually produced. The restriction of hazardous substances directive was adopted in February 2003 by the European Union. So this RoH in Europe they decided these six hazardous material should not be used. Which material? Lead, mercury, cadmium, hexavalent chromium, polybrominated biphenyls, polybrominated diphenyl ether. Just remember this, you don't need to by heart. Okay. So the directive sets a maximum concentration of these materials at 0.1% by weight of homogeneous material. This means that the weight of these elements, if extracted from the finished product, cannot exceed the aforementioned limit. See, आप plastic use करो, but इतना ही use करना है. Okay. So bad food कम खाओ. Good food ज़्यादा खाओ. Like that it is. So lead you are using, but इतना ही percentage use करना पड़ेगा. Mercury are you using? This much only you have to use, because these are the hazardous substances. National adoption. Although the WEEE and ROHS directives come from the EU, countries have to pass their own national laws. To illustrate the importance of managing e-waste, in April 2005, the Royal Society of Arts and Canon presented a 7-meter tall sculpture called WEEE Man on London South Bank. WEEE Man is made from 3.3 tons of electrical goods. So this particular, okay, about how much e-waste the average UK citizen creates in a lifetime. So a tall picture sculpture they created. So this is the tall sculpture which indicates kitne hazardous material the UK citizen is producing. So to show that, okay. So because each country has adopted varying versions of WEEE directive, there are different rules and regulations across Europe. So Europe में many places are there. Okay, so Austria में these and Belgium, Cyprus. Okay, all these are the rules and regulation of each and every place in Europe. Okay, just go through it. You don't need to by heart. You don't need to study this. Just for your knowledge, you have to read this. That's it. Because there are many countries, it is difficult to remember. अभी आ गया हमारा continent, Asia. Asia is a big area, but there are some developing countries in Asia, not developed countries. Asia is large dumping ground for the world's e-waste, and several countries are trying to minimize the impact on their environment. So we are going to learn about what is going on in Asia. First, Japan. While the bulk of e-waste is shipped to countries in Asia and Africa for recycling, while the West is getting its e-waste house in order, the Japanese have made great strides in managing their own e-waste problem. So how did they manage? Japanese. See, Japanese people are very, very hardworking people. You all would have heard it. उधर earthquake, okay, earthquake हुआ है. Earthquake के वजह से पूरा building damage हो गया है. But within a week they will develop it again. They are very, very hardworking people. So have you all heard about one book called Ikigai? Anyone is having book reading habit in your class? Do you all read book? May I get a reply? Are you listening, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Only Sweetie is always replying. What about others? Are you all there, students?
Yes, ma'am. We are here.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So you all must be familiar with me, which will help you because I will be conducting the presentation, right? Practical. For everything, it will be very, very helpful to you all. Okay, if I see known person ke liye, the comfort is always there. Though I am a teacher, I will evaluate everything properly. Now I know about Ali, I know about Sweetie. Okay, so like many of you must be familiar with the teacher, which is just the relay. Nothing else is the reason. It is a good habit, right? So when you interact, I will understand. The students are listening, they are understanding. Otherwise, how I will understand? So anyone is having the reading habit? What you all do in general? Reading habit hona chahiye. Okay, read anything. Anything in the sense useful thing. So how one person is intelligent, we are saying it is not born intelligent. The people have the habit of reading. See now green computing mein now Ali was explaining something. How he explained? He was reading about that. See everyone have the habit. 5 minutes, 10 minutes you have to read some extra thing apart from your subject. Now you are all no more a school student. Now you have come to the college. With after 2 years you are going to work. You are having so many responsibilities in your shoulder. Okay. 12th तक school children. बुक में क्या है पढ़ाई करना है मार्क्स लेना है. बुक में क्या है पढ़ाई करना है मार्क्स लेना है. कॉलेज मतलब कितना ज्यादा आपको मालूम है उतना अच्छा है. For you, not for anyone else. Okay. If Saravanan knows something, it is useful for him, not for me. So there is one famous book called Ikigai. Ikigai matlab how Japanese people are having the long life. Okay. It is a proud thing if anyone is having a long life. It is a positively we have to consider. Positive thinking should always be there. ये क्यों करना है, ये करके क्या फायदा, ऐसा कभी भी नहीं सोचना है. ओके. ई वेस्ट करना है मतलब ई वेस्ट करना है ना आपको, ज्यादा नहीं सोचना, क्योंकि हजार्डस मटेरियल है विच विल क्रिएट कैंसर. कैंसर फॉर whom? For us only. It is better avoid that. So Japanese people are very, very hardworking people. You just read about Japanese or you ask your parents or relatives. Okay. So hard work
Okay, ma'am.
means, yeah, yes, sweetie. Hard work means it is not like that. A teacher is teaching something, I am doing something else in online. That is not hard working. Okay. Bore nahi hona hai. That is hard working. Bore kabhi nahi hoga. आपको क्यूरियोसिटी होना चाहिए. हाँ, आज ग्रीन कंप्यूटिंग में व्हाट मैम इज सेइंग, वो ROHS. व्हाट इज ROHS? Which country ma'am is discussing today? Oh, ma'am is discussing about Australia. Ma'am is discussing about Europe. She is discussing about the e-waste and the hazardous material. Which 6 material are? So this is curiosity. But what we think? ग्रीन कंप्यूटिंग है ना, वो बोरिंग है, वो थियरी है, पूरा थियरी, वो थियरी सुनना पड़ता है. Then that is negative. Are you all positive or negative?
Ma'am, we are positive.
You are positive. Very good. So is everyone listening? Now 56 plus how many students are there? Is everyone paying attention? May I get a reply from you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So in green computing lecture में कितना नॉलेज मिला आपको? क्या नॉलेज मिला? इतना लेक्चर हमने देखा है, आपको नॉलेज मिला इसमें? आप
हाँ मैम,
क्यूरियोसिटी
बढ़ते
से,
इवेंट्स के ऊपर नॉलेज मिला है थोड़ा.
हाँ, वेरी गुड. ओके. सो क्लास में एक ही बार अंडरस्टैंडिंग, बार रीड करना पड़ेगा टू रिमेम्बर द थिंग. अदरवाइज आई विल कैच यू ऑल ड्यूरिंग द प्रेजेंटेशन. ओके. मैं मुश्किल से सब कुछ पढ़ा रही हूँ, कुछ ना कुछ है तो गूगल में सर्च करके पहले रखती हूँ मैं. दिस आई हैव taught many times, so I know the concept very well, but फिर भी एक बार मैं ऐसा रीड करके रखती हूँ before the lecture, because I want every student should get benefit. Okay. So you also have the same responsibility and curiosity. Curiosity is very, very important. Bore nahi hone ka hai. The word bore means you are dumb, you are very lazy. There is no word bore. Okay. So I don't want to So during the presentation, you all are going to give some extra effort. You are going to give very nice presentation. Okay. So remember the points. Today we discussed about various countries, how they are involved in the e-waste program. See, only these two only, e-waste, recycle, reuse, and restriction of hazardous substance. These four only we are studying again and again now in this chapter. But how each and every country is approaching it? Shipment restriction they are doing, and state-wise they are bringing the laws and regulation. Okay, that is what we are learning. Okay, so with this I end today's lecture. Remaining we will see in tomorrow's lecture.
Okay, ma'am.
So tomorrow you bring some extra information. So I am going to discuss the first 10 minutes, some information from you all about green computing, any paperless, anything.
Ma'am, someone is kicking me from the meet, ma'am.
But students, be responsible and don't behave in